Greetings everybody, and here we are again in ILONA TV show. So I'm so happy that you are here with us. And today we also want to welcome back our guest that we have just interviewed last time that he was here with a great message. And Dante, how are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
And welcome back.
Thank you.
So people reached out to us, they wanted to know more about you, and today we're going to be talking about some of your stories that happened, in the past that you can connect and made you the person you are today. Because last segment you did talk about that you are not the person that you knew yourself, and you praise God that you are not the same person anymore. So what happened during this transition?
Well, during the transition, I had an altercation, a bad one, and I lost my temper, and I ended up in Hennepin County for 72 hours, and I saw a judge on that Monday, and the diagnosis was a year probation and 19 weeks of anger management. And at first, I didn't take it serious. I've been a certain way all my life, and to just change in that moment, it didn't even seem realistic to me. And the amount of change that I would go through, I had no idea. But my facilitator for the anger management class, she called me out right away. I tried to work my way through it and manipulate it, and she was good. So when she called my feelings out in front of the whole class, and it's all men, it was humbling. And I knew that was it. That was my time to start the change that I already knew that I needed, because my temper have gotten me in situations that have almost got me killed in front of my family. And that's just one situation. So I needed that change. My kids have seen me act out and lose my temper. And creating that example for them is horrible as a parent. So to finally go through it and to see myself and to be able to hold myself accountable, at first it was extremely hard, but it became this amazing process. I still use my anger logs to this day, and that was, 12 years ago? I still use my anger logs all the time because it helps me keep me in check, and it also helps me to develop a different way of thinking when I do get frustrated, because the anger logs challenge you to think, what could have I thought different? What could have I said? What could I have said different? And yeah, it's helped so much. So what did she say during the process, or what has been said there that really, really, really got you and wanted you to kind of change? What was that moment? Do you remember? She called out my shame.
What was it?
So I got into an argument with my ex-wife, and I had a moment of frustration and threw my phone, but it actually hit her. And some people will say, it's like, oh, you didn't beat her up or anything, but cell phones are heavy. That is like a brick. And to have that moment of frustration, to not care about her, that was something that I wasn't even raised on. My mom, my sisters, they was all threatening to kick my butt. But that's how we were raised. We were raised not to be that person or not to let anyone get you to that point. And it was after that moment that I learned it doesn't matter how mad someone makes you. What you do with your actions after that is your actions and your actions alone. That's a choice that you made, no matter what. You can be extremely upset. I used to get so upset to the point where I couldn't see who was standing in front of me. And I literally could not see if my mother was standing in front of me, that was my mom. I used to get that upset. But whatever I choose to do after that is my decision. I can't blame it on anyone for making me upset like that. Any actions that I take, because that lack of accountability is what keeps us in that place to feel like we're okay. And it's not, that's never okay. And that was one of the most shameful experiences of my life. And not only for my facilitator to call that out, but to be in a courtroom full of people, women, men, children. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing, and that just added to the shame. It took me most of my anger management class to finally start to deal with that, but it took me even longer to actually get over it.
So Dante, you have talked to us about your shameful moments that you had to face in front of the people, crowds, even the children. So how does it feel to you, right now, talking about that?
Right now, it feels good actually. There's still some shame there, and it may never go anywhere, but it's something that I'll continue to work through. But there's also a moment that I know I'll never have again. So it does feel good to be able to talk about it and to be honest about it, because I have held myself accountable for that, and I've done the work to get past that. And that, just like many other life obstacles or self roadblocks or barriers, if we don't work to get past those barriers, we become victims to ourselves, not anyone else. And I feel like I've made it past that point. So yeah, it's okay talking about it now.
That's good. It actually makes you so not just vulnerable but brave at the same time to do so. But let me ask you this question. I want you to look at the camera, and I'm sure there are some people in your life that you haven't had a chance to apologize to. An apology is a really brave and courageous step to do. Some people think that apologizing makes you weak, makes you vulnerable, makes you just that you're defeated, but it makes a person to elevate to the next level. So look at the camera and talk to the people you've never had a chance to apologize, that you've hurt. You maybe don't even know people that you've hurt that are hurting. So pour your heart to them right now. Look at their eyes and connect with them, and just say what you feel you need to tell them right now.
Absolutely. So my apology will be a little different, because I've always been a protector. I've always fought battles for everyone. And my apology is to everyone for not giving them that opportunity to do it themselves, because I feel that I kind of hindered your growth and your development by taking on some of those battles for you. That's me holding myself accountable for that part, but also we'll need those people to hold themselves accountable as well, because sometimes it wasn't just me putting myself in a situation. I apologize to my kids for a lot of those anger moments, or when family members called and I just ran and I didn't know what I was running into, but I still came to their rescue or came to their aid. And my mom, she's amazing. And I didn't realize what I had until I got older. And she has been always there. I call her my female version of God, because she's gave me the same grace that he has. And also my dad, for not being able to have that connection that he wants after so long of not having it, for it being so hard for me to just get that connection and keep it going. But I also want to apologize to myself for taking so long for me to change, to be in a situation at that level to where it forces me to change. I apologize to myself for not being mature enough to do it earlier.
That was I just got chills, like a goosebumps, for you to do it. And I feel that, how does it feel, by the way, doing that?
It's good. I've never apologized to myself.
Yes.
I've never apologized to myself. Maybe everyone else, not in that way.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot to apologize for throughout my lifetime.
Yes.
And that's why I say I believe in second, third, fourth, and fifth chances, because I was always given them.
Yes.
And there were times where I wouldn't even think that I would be here today to be doing this. And God saw fit for me to be here. He saw fit for me to be doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
But he also put me in a position to finally get it to where I needed to learn to change, so that if we did end up in Chaska and went through the racism that my kids and my family experienced, that we can handle it in a different way and not in a way that I used to be. So I am so grateful for that change, for him seeing that in me, to be able to be patient with me and make that change, help me make that change.
We want to thank you today for being with us.
Thank you.
Dante, for sharing your message, for sharing your heart. And we want to also thank you, our viewers, our faithful viewers who are watching this and learning something from it and igniting one day or another in your lives that you need a hope with, you need the dreams. So, and I know that you have a message that you want to share. You have this maybe moments that you want to get it out on the table, that you've never had a chance to be exposed in a way that you wanted to be, like just, that's the time. That's the time to tell the world about what happened. Because sometimes we're afraid because the messes in our lives are our messages in the future for somebody else. If we did not mess up in our lives, how else can we teach our kids and generation? There's no learning process. So please use your past, your mess that happened, to use it as a message to empower somebody else today, so they will not make the mistakes that we have made, so they will learn from it. So thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time. That was Ilona from ILONA TV.